Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing an 11.1 balanced druid PvP guide. This is what you guys wanted to see. Patch has been out for a few days now and we're preparing for the next season, so this is what this video is going to be about. And let's go ahead and get this started. So the right side pretty much hasn't changed too terribly much for me. The left side is where all the major changes currently are. So pretty much just what you want to do is get your standard balanced droid abilities like, Starfire, Star Surge, etc. We want to get all those things. I like to run Remove Corruption because there's a lot of locks and mages around and you can decurse their stuff. You want to get Improved Bark Skin for increasing its duration. Thick Hide to reduce the damage taken even more. Natural Recovery to increase the healing you receive, which will help out quite a bit. Nurturing Instinct to increase your damage and healing. Renewal is one of your best defenses. I cannot stress how much I love Renewal because I feel like the self-healing for Boomkin kind of sucks otherwise this expansion. So I love Renewal. Cyclone was nerfed this patch, so it is now 5 seconds instead of 6 seconds. But still, in my opinion, one of the best CCs in the game. Plus, you can combo it with one of the strongest CC combos. So Cyclone into a Root Beam after the Cyclone ends. Unfortunately, target dummies are immune to Cyclone, but you kind of get the point. So you Cyclone, Root Beam the healer, and it's just an extremely deadly combo. Wild Charge for the extra movement. Well-honed Instincts when you fall below 40%. You cast Frenzied Regen every 90 seconds. Well, actually 90 seconds with perfectly honed instincts. Oatskin for more reduced damage on Barkskin. Mighty Bash for the stun. Improved Stampeding Roar for the 1 minute Stampeding Roar, of course. Teachings for the stat. The new talent Circle of Heavens, which increases your magical damage dealt. Heart of the Wild for an extra defensive. And then Lore of the Grove for Moonfire and Sunfire increased damage. And Typhoon, as well as you can either pick Gale Winds or Tempest. It's up to you. I went with Gale Winds to increase the radius and its range by 5 yards. And then, of course, Mass Entanglement for the Roots Beam combo that I showed you. And then that's pretty much all of the new stuff on the left side that you will be picking pretty much. The right side, I ran this last season and nothing has really changed much for this season. The only talent I would recommend switching out is if you want to run Fury of Elune instead of New Moon. It's up to you. Fury of Elune if you're running like a solo duel type of thing, because it's a lot easier to use Fury of Elune versus New Moon. That takes like an eternity to cast. But for Battlegrounds and Battleground Blitz, you can do some really huge burst with New Moon. I've been hitting over 3 million plus full moons. It is freaking crazy. I absolutely love it. But like I said, it can be a pain to get off if somebody notices you. So do keep that in mind. It's up to you on what you want to play. And then also, if you want to run the AoE build, you can switch out like Astral Impact for Kindling. And you can also run Keeper of the Grove with the AoE build. So do keep that in mind. And yeah, so that's if you're running the AoE build. If you're not, this is more so like a single target. I mean, technically we do have AoE with Starfall being baseline, but yeah, for an AoE build, I would just switch out Kindling and switch to Keeper of the Grove over Elune's Chosen. So, as for hero talent tree, like I said before, it depends on what you're playing. If you're playing this build that I'm playing right now, play Elune's Chosen. If you're wanting to play an AoE type of build, go with Keeper of the Grove. I myself love my single target build way more than my AoE one personally. Yeah, like most of the time, even though the AoE build is probably better in something like, I mean, technically the AoE build is really always good in Battlegrounds no matter what, but I just prefer like absolutely nuking something, because sometimes that can change the tide, like taking out an opponent. You never know. It's like you can just take out an opponent and can change it at the tide of a Battleground. So, but I prefer my single target build. I like Elune's Chosen, and like I said, full moon hits like a truck, and there's some talents in here that increase the damage of full moon. Like this one increases the damage by 25%. And there's also some other talents that are nice. When you hit somebody with full moon, they take 6% increased damage. And also there's new moon, half moon now also called down, one minor moon. So there's a bunch of really nice talents here that will just synergize really well with new moon. And that is the reason why I run Elun's Chosen with this build. Up next is PvP talents. I like to run Thorns, although Thorns has changed this patch and it only works when you run Barkskin now. I personally don't like the new change, although I guess it could technically be nice because you can't use Thorns while you were stunned in the past. And now when you use Barkskin with it stunned, it automatically pops Thorns. So I guess it's good, but you know, I still kind of like the old one. I also run Starburst. That way, if you pop Starfall with this build, because I mean, you can still pop Starfall. It'll pop all these things that people run in and get knocked up in the air and give you Astro Power. So that could be pretty nice. Sometimes you'll pop Starfall, you know. So I run Starburst. And then last but not least, Moonkin Aura. I pretty much always run this one. I never really switched out. If you want, if there's no melee, you can switch out for Celestial Guardian, for example. You can also run Alkin Adept. You can also run Tireless Pursuit if you're planning on running a flag. And then you can also run a High Winds for increased range on Cyclone. And those are the ones I would personally switch out for. You can also just switch out Starburst if you want as well, if you don't plan on using Starfall a lot, but that is strictly up to you. Alright, up next will be stats. So there's two different routes you can go. Last season I pretty much did Mastery with a little bit of haste. You can see right now on my gear I have Mastery on pretty much most of my pieces. Some of my pieces have that have haste were like tier gear, like for example, actually right here for example has haste, and my shoulder said haste in a little bit. So you can go full mastery and hit like an absolute freight train like I did. Like you can see for example, like I have all this mastery gear and you can hit like an absolute truck. Your cast times will be absolutely crazy to, like for example, to cast Wrath to get into an eclipse, and same for like full moon. So you might have a hard time getting cast off of full moon sometimes, but like I said, you will hit like an absolute truck with the mastery build. So you can go that route if you absolutely want to. You can see I did go the mastery route last season. I'll probably do the same thing this season and just grab a little bit of haste gear. For example, like I'll just grab haste on like the shoulders, the trinket, the weapon, the necklace, you know, all that stuff again. So but that's probably my plan. Otherwise, if you don't want to go that route, you can go the haste route. That is strictly up to you. But I recommend either going mastery route or the haste route, or you could just grab a mixture of in between. It's up to you as well. Like I said, I have some haste gear, of course. I have the haste trinket, haste weapon, haste shoulders, you know, stuff like that. So you can either go the mastery route, the haste route, or in between. Mastery will increase your damage, of course, and you can hit some massive full moons with it. So do keep that in mind. Now, for embellishments, I'm probably going to do the same thing as I did with last season. I didn't fix, I did not fix it. I'm not the same thing as last season. I didn't fix it for my last season, but I highly recommend it just probably going the, sorry, my brain is a little bit frozen for whatever reason. I'm probably gonna go the lens route. Here, let me show you guys. I'm just gonna use this as an example. I'm just gonna go focusing lens probably. Most of the embellishments were not really that impressive, no, but I'm just gonna go for the elemental focusing lens. Most of my tunes have gone that route anyways, and it's been perfectly fine. So that's gonna be the embellishment I'm gonna be going for. Now for enchants, I'm going to be going Crystalline Radiance, Authority of Radiant Power, Defender's March, the Intellect on the Pants, and you can either go Haste or Mastery Enchant on your rings. It's up to you. I'm probably going to go Mastery again. And for gems, ignore this gem. It's for something else, but I am going to be going Precog. If you don't know what Precog is, allow me to show you. It is right here. Cognitive Bloodstone. Whenever you juke somebody, you'll be immune to, I believe, their CC and their kicks. I don't know why my brain's a little bit slow this morning, so you'll have to forgive me. Now for rotation. Let's go over the rotation. The rotation is pretty simple for the most part. You'll just dot as much people as you can. It just dot everybody that's nearby. If you're playing AoE build, you're gonna be starfalling a lot more, and so just make sure you keep the starfalls up. I like to use Wrath to get into an Eclipse because if you're being attacked, you'll be able to instant Starfire more often, so do keep that in mind. You can also use instant Starfall if you want, but you'll have to use Wrath to hit harder, and that's why I just like to get Wrath into an Eclipse, because that way your Starfire will hit harder. So that's the way I like to get into an Eclipse. So do keep that in mind. You can, like I said, you can do Starfire if you want to, but my personal recommendation is to just use Wrath to get into an Eclipse, so that way you can Starfire in case you get attacked and instant Starfire that way. Not to mention, if you're running Warrior Balloon, you can instant Starfire several times and hit hard that way. I mean, Starfire does not really hit as hard, but you know, it's something to help you out, you know. And then for burst, after I fully dot everybody, like fully dot everything nearby, I will pop my Incarnation and Full Moon right away to get that full damage out and just straight up nuke everything. Yeah, I was overcapped on Astral Power, so you can Star Surge beforehand if you really want to, but like I said, sometimes it's just better to Full Moon, because you never know if somebody's going to look at you and interrupt you because it's a long cast time and I want to just get it off immediately. So that's pretty much my rotation. Just dot everything up. I use Wrath to get into an Eclipse. Spend Star Surge or Starfall to spend Astral Power on Starfall or Star Surge, depending on what you want to do. And then Full Moon when you're in an Eclipse, and Incarnation, and that's pretty much that. And that's just the rotation. Pretty simple. You can use Warrior Balloon instant Starfires when you're in an Eclipse for that extra increased damage as well. And that's pretty much the rotation. Other than that, make sure you cyclone whoever you're cycloning and Roots beaming them afterwards, so you can train them in a CC combo, and it'll help out your team a lot. I have macro, a set focus macro for my Root Beam macro. It is right here. Should be right here. Yeah, solar beam macro. So basically what it does is you put your target on set focus, and I'm targeting this guy instead. And then I would use my set focus macro, and it does the same thing for Cyclone. So see, my set focus macro did it to that target instead. So those are the only two macros I really use. You can ignore every other macro. These are way older macros I just haven't deleted for whatever reason. So those are the only two macros I really use, and that is pretty much it. I think that pretty much covers up everything. If you guys have any more questions, let me know, and I will try my absolute best to answer them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.